Welcome, Phoenix fans. Episode 1 of your Heartland Hoops, your fan-driven South East Melbourne Phoenix podcast, keeping you in the loop from all the views, opinions. This is brought to you by Basketball Fix. You can find them on YouTube, Instagram, and their website, thebasketballfix.com, for all their news, articles, and podcasts. Episode 1, I'm joined by Joel. How are you, Joel?
Yeah, good, mate. It's good to be here. Looking forward to this.
Yeah, 100%. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, for me, I think Josh has spoken about our dynamic and how he thinks it'll work well. Like, obviously, you're coming from like a sporting background yourself, lots of podcast experience as well. But for me, it's probably my commentary experience, like only just starting up recently, and this will be something probably in the pipeline as well, just kind of keep things moving along nicely. During the week as well, I have a part-time gig at a supermarket, so at Coles as well. So that keeps things moving. But yeah, what about yourself?
Mate, just typical Australia, mate. Family, kids.
Yeah.
Go to the basketball every home game that we have an opportunity to go to. Member for 2 years. Mate, I've loved, or I could say hate Melbourne Tigers, Melbourne United. So I've always followed the Victorian Giants, Southern Dragons, South East Melbourne Magic, and now South East Phoenix. Yeah, just enjoy it, mate. It just wasn't really much of a basketballer, but just enjoy watching it. And now just enjoy going. It's in my blood.
Yeah. Well, that intro is definitely going to get us up and going too.
Oh, 100%, mate. We just a little bit. Hopefully one of the players can come back to us in Mitch Creek, but you just never know. You never know. We always have a Christmas list, and that's mine for the 25-26 season. What the podcast will look like this year, it's a bit unknown at this time because of just how early we're going. We're going to definitely review the games. We're going to preview the upcoming games. We're going to have weekly segments. What they look like, we don't know. We're still in production for that, but I'm telling you what, they're going to be a lot of fun. Viewer interactions, we're big on that. So if you have any comments, questions, or opinions, or don't agree with either of us, interact with us. We'd love to give you a shout out and talk about your thoughts as well. It's such a great little family, the Southeast Phoenix. I'm part of a lot of chat groups, and geez, we're passionate. So if you can show that on our podcast, we'd really, really appreciate it. We are now not live, but we are. We just dropped an Instagram account of Heartland Hoops TBF. So that's Heartland Hoops TBF. It'll be through the Basketball Fix Instagrams as well. So you'll see it all there. Give us a like, subscribe, whatever you need to do. Just interact with us. Let us know your thoughts on these episodes. They're only going to get bigger and better. So stay tuned. Episode 1. Yeah, it is 100%. Episode 1, 24-25 recap season. I don't know why we're doing it, but you wanted to bring it up, Joel. Your thoughts on the recap?
I just thought of it as a good idea. I didn't look, from a Supercoach standpoint, I was paying attention to a lot of the league last year, but watching it, I didn't have a lot of time to watch the games, obviously. I think once you see the scoreline, you don't want to watch the replays either. But I think the start of the season, I think you've reflected on that as well, as what we need to improve on for this year. Obviously, we did make it to the semi-finals. We did take it up to Illawarra as well, which was pretty big. But we knocked out Adelaide as well, who were a pretty strong competitive team, fiery team as well. Obviously, Butthead's locker room presence as well, as we did talk about the other day on our first general chat. But yeah, what were your thoughts on that?
Look, the over 0-5 start wasn't really a shock because I wasn't a big fan of Mike Kelly. It just, even the players, they just didn't look like they bought in. I think it was when they announced the captains of Sobey and Hunter in the room, and it was like they were at a funeral. So my concerns were really high, really early. And I think when we lost to Brisbane at home, I think that was the 5th game, I was absolutely ropeable. And I was almost going to be like any other AFL member and rip up my membership and not go anymore. But they signed Josh King, and geez, he's a one passionate little man. And it just rubbed off on the players. I think that's what, he brought some difference to the team, but you just saw the passion out of the players after the 0-5 start. Even when we beat Melbourne in the first game, we were 1-5, and the passion was just humongous. And I think that's how we just rolled for 24, 25 season. It was just passion, just show it and let it roll.
Yeah, his energy, absolutely.
Yeah, and it just, obviously he's going to bring it, but it'd be interesting 25, 26 season. The refs are going to be hot on him with his passion, his questioning of the refs, the calls. There was times I got frustrated when he was having a good old yell, and you'd be like, mate, just shut up, please, for the love of our team.
Yeah. I think one thing to note on that as well with Josh King, I think there's a perspective over the offseason as well that we might have a similar output, or I'm hoping, to what Illawarra have had with their coach in Tatum. Obviously, first coaches coming into the league kind of thing and bringing their experience is obviously pretty, versatile and whatnot. So that'd be something to look into, because I think if we can have some kind of an input as to what they had, we'll be in for a big year.
Yeah, 100%, mate. There's been a lot of comparisons to Tatum and Illawarra. Just watching one of the NBL shows that, been running through the off-season. That's all they kept talking about as soon as the season was over was, this is going to be Illawarra 2.0. And I'm like, oh, geez, that'd be good. Wouldn't mind a championship next year to be great. But I think he will. I think the way he goes about it, the defensive mindset.
Yeah.
It's just now up to getting the right players to do it.
Yeah.
Moving on to players gone, signed, lost, retained. So players gone from last year. The key ones are Ben Eyre gone to Tassie, Luke Fennell's gone to college, and Matt Kenyon has gone to Adelaide, with Wieskamp hurt and Junior not returning. Not just yet. I'll leave the door open. Your thoughts on that, Joel?
Well, we didn't really have too many people departing, and I think for Fennell's sake as well, obviously a young player going to college, hopefully that might lift up him a little bit going into potentially an NBA campaign as well. But, as I said, we didn't lose too many players. Ben Eyre going to Tassie, that's a good acquisition for them, I think. And hopefully with these, because we've got 2 imports still up for grabs, haven't we? 2 import spots now, I think.
Yep.
Hopefully, I'm hoping for a bit of a guard. So I've been watching a bit of the summer league, and hopefully to keep an eye on a few of the guards that are running through there.
Yep.
But yeah, as you said, keep the door open for Derek Walton Jr. I'd love to have him back, I think.
Yeah, 100%. I think Ben Eyre is going to be a massive loss. I couldn't work out. Like, he was coming off a huge NBL 1 last year, putting up some nice numbers that I thought would get him regular time. I think even the year before he was having some really good numbers with us. And then it was like something happened. He never got any minutes. He was lucky to play a minute. He then... It was, under Mike Kelly I'm talking about. And then I think it took a while for King to give him a go. Like, I know he had Foxwell and Walton Jr. under him, but even when Walton Jr. was injured, there was just no time for him. And I think he's a big loss. I think he brings so much energy. He brings so much spark when he came on. I think it's going to be a big loss, and Tassie are going to go leaps and bounds with him if they play him correctly. Fennell, well, we didn't see much of him, so
no.
I'm not going to say great loss, but it's just a loss. Matt Kenyon going to Adelaide. Geez, he was frustrating to watch. Was he there for just his defensive mindset? Because, geez, his offense was it was like watching under-8s basketball for me.
Up in the air. Yeah.
But his defensive mindset was really good. But, Wieskamp, no shock that he's gone. I'll be shocked if he gets asked back. Look, he tried, he struggled, but geez, he got better with those last 8 games. I thought he was really good, and I thought he may.
I was going to say, you tell me what you were telling me on the call the other day about Wieskamp and you going to the games and watching him.
Yeah. So it started off when it was the practice match against Melbourne United. We were lining up to get my son wanted his autograph, and he just sat there on the phone the whole time. And just signed and kept checking his phone. And it was like, wow, this is a good start. But then, like, when you watch him warm up, he'd hit everything. And it'd be just like, okay, he's on. Here we go. Yep, beauty. We're on here. He's going to have that breakout game that we've signed him for. And he'd have 3 shots. And I don't know if he lost confidence or the team lost confidence in him. I think it was a bit of both.
Yeah.
But I think King, did the right thing, put him on the bench, just eased him back into it, find that feet. And they kept talking about it. Yeah, and they kept talking. We're confident he'll get it done. And I think that was so good about him. They kept him there as long as they could because he just got better. And I think they knew what we were seeing in practice or warm-ups is like, fuck, he's not far away. So I thought he may have got another contract off his last 8 games, but when I reviewed it all, it was, no, I don't think it's the right decision.
No, not the right call.
Matt Hurt, geez. I want him. I do want him. I think he's a really good... My God, the way he played, there was a lot more positives than negatives with him. The 3-ball, his points in the paint. He turned a lot of games around for us, and to not have him signed yet is really concerning. You?
Yeah, I think so as well. But also the Illawarra Hawks comparison with Aldridge now going to the NBA, does that open the doors slightly ajar for him to go there if he wants to stay in the league of the NBL?
I think he does. Like, Illawarra have always knocking on the door, but you haven't heard about Phoenix shutting the door.
No, exactly.
So are they just... No talk on it. I think they're just lurking in the background. They've got one eye on it. I'm still confident he'll stay.
Yeah.
That's just my wish list, I think, by the end of the week. But, I think we need him. I don't want him to go to Illawarra. It'd be heartbreaking.
Like, for you, though, having a look at our potential depth chart at the moment, having Hunter, Gak, and Alir, like, do you see that going into the season? Would you see anything else happening with that side of things?
Honestly, don't see Alir or Gak playing minutes unless Jordy Hunter's injured.
So that's why we kind of need that backup big in a way.
Yeah, and we've got a few with DJ Mitchell signing on and the new import signing now. This is probably going to be a good laugh, me trying to pronounce this guy. Vren, Bly, and Burra. I've broken
Just say
it down.
VB. Just say VB.
Yeah, I'll go VB. a great Victorian beer. I had to ask ChatGPT how to pronounce this guy's name, and it's come with Vren, Bly, and Bar. So don't have too many goat beers trying to pronounce that one.
No.
But they're both 6'8", 6'9", pushing 10.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I've just, with that signing the other day with VB, it tells me the Hurt's not coming.
No, that's what we've been saying. So
my
outlook on that though is losing like more, because I don't think we've really touched on that yet.
Yep.
Now to then go to a power forward center kind of approach, signing someone that's a lot taller. Haven't really read much into him though, have we? Like, we don't know how he plays, what his play style is really.
Is that VB you're talking about?
Yeah. Yes. VB. Yeah.
All I got was from everyone that's reported on it: versatility and playmaking skills. Averaged 11 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. So he looks like he wants a bit of the ball in his hands.
Right.
But it's hard to compare 11 points out of the league he's coming in. Like, could he average 18 in the NBL?
Yeah.
That's me hoping.
How long has that been in the pipeline for, do you think, though? Because we have more as that like guard kind of import. And then as soon as he leaves, we obviously get the news on VB coming.
Yeah, I think VB's always been the target.
Yeah.
If Moore was your small forward, it'd be a different chat. But I think we've known for 2 weeks now Amari Moore was going to Europe, and maybe VB was part of the backup plan, maybe?
Yeah.
But they acted pretty quick. So once the buyout news came, they've signed him. So it's a hard one to read. Does this, you reckon, open the door for Walton Jr. to come back?
I think it does. Well, we don't want Foxwell, I don't think, starting at the moment. Because I think he'll be on the depth chart. That's what it's looking like. I mean, it'd be good. I'd love to see the young fella play, but maybe like some bench minutes for him.
I'm glad you sort of touched on Foxwell.
Yeah.
Is there too much of a hype on him? I know he had a breakout game of 27 points and, Kyle Adman 4 or 5 years ago was doing that and it's fallen by the wayside.
Breaking out like that, having a few games like that here and there.
Look, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's overrated or he doesn't deserve a spot. I like him coming off that bench. He brings so much energy like Ben Air did.
Yeah.
But again, your game's got to go to another level. It can't be stagnant and just stay there because you get found out and chewed out.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, I hope he has a breakout year. As I said, Amari Moore being bought is off to Europe, so we got a buyout out of that as well. So it'd be interesting to. I'd love to know how much money was in the buyout.
Yeah.
Where does that go? Will that go into another player? Would that go into a Matt Hurt? Mate, I'd love that to be announced. If anyone's got any inside scoop, please let us know. I'd love to know what the buyout amount is. Do they buy him out for his contract?
Yeah.
That'd be good to know.
Everyone's saying there's not enough money in the league at the moment.
Yeah. It's one thing that in this sport, you don't know the wages or their approximate wages.
Yeah.
Where AFL, it's so open and he's on 1.2 million and all this sort of stuff. But NBL is probably the only sport that is it's well publicized, the game.
Yeah.
You don't know what they're on. And geez, it could be. It'd be something I'd love to know just on the side, just knowing what they're getting paid. And just something to know,
Yeah.
So players gone. We've talked about players signed. So we've signed Daniel Foster. So the info I've got on him, he's NCAA Division 1, had 5 years in it. So he had 22 minutes last year, averaging 3 points, 3 rebounds. Do you see him having any action? He is our development player.
Right.
But off those stats out of Division 1, geez, it might look a bit. Might be just a bench warmer.
Could it be a similar approach to what we did with Fennell? Do you reckon? Not seeing much game time, being on the edge of the bench if we have a blowout kind of game.
Yeah, I'd hope. Well, the thing is, like Fennell went off and done college. He's gone off to do college now, so I can see that. But for Daniel Foster, like, where's he go from here? It's this and NBL 1. He's locked in. So I'd hope he might get 5 minutes a game. He might be that.
Yeah.
There were so many players we had last year that would come on for 5 minutes, like Vodovic. Who was the other one? There was another one that we had. I can't think of them right now, but he might be that. But we've got a lot of players in that area of his height, So how does he get a game? I hope I'm wrong. And he averages 15 and we can.
If he gets that many minutes at the NCAA level, that'd be that's something to think about. Like 22 minutes a game, only averaging that output.
Yeah. It might be that defensive mindset that Josh King loves.
Yeah, exactly.
I would have liked to have seen a few more steals or assists, but it might be just that defensive mindset. We also saw DJ Mitchell, who played Brisbane Bullets a couple of years ago. He was in the Super League of Britain last year, 33 games, 14.8 points, 5.8 rebounds. You'd think he'd be in that rotation.
You'd have to think so.
Yep.
I think he's probably obviously behind VB at the moment. Probably power forward. Could he play the small forward position as well? Hopefully, because I think our output at the moment is probably trying to bring in players that can play multiple positions, and obviously both ends of the floor as well, offensive and defense. So if that's what King's wanting, if that's what the franchise is wanting, then I'm all for it. I think of him coming probably off the bench, providing that bit of a spark.
Okay, you mentioned you reckon VB starts.
Yeah,
do you reckon Malik Lewis starts this year? Assuming we're going to sign a power forward import.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Assuming we're going to sign a point guard import.
I think they want him to start.
Yep.
I think they do. Like, obviously, you've said at the start of the episode, you've seen going high draft pick. If he does go that high, you'd have to think he gets quality ball at possession that as well during games, and probably starts.
Yeah, I think that's why he may have not entered the draft. Like, he maybe looked and said, I'm only going to go that 40, 50, 60 pick.
Yeah.
I've got to work harder. If he has another year in the NBL, I think he takes his game to another level, and I reckon he may start.
Yeah, yeah.
And that might push VB back to, bench with DJ Mitchell.
Yeah.
So Akikalia, Gak. Look, I don't see them playing many minutes. Maybe Gak, maybe. But they've been in the system too long. We got a Lear from Melbourne United. It was quite a strange signing for me. So quick. I just, I'm still trying to get my head around it. Look, I hope he finds a way and gets minutes. And, one thing I did see in 2 games when he played at United, when he played minutes, and I think he was averaging 20 minutes in those 2 games, roughly.
Yeah.
He had 10 points in both games. So he can do something, but I haven't seen enough for him in NBL 1 or wherever he is now to be giving him a spot. And, Gak, he was with us 2 years ago, and he was a good fill-in when we didn't have that centre.
Injury replacement kind of guy.
Yeah, but I would have thought he would have got more minutes at Tassie.
Yeah.
So
you'd think
interesting signing again. So the new import VB 6'10". They're saying small forward, power forward, versatility, playmaking skills. It'd be interesting if he can adapt. That's the key. We know Wieskamp didn't adapt to what we were about and the game styles and that. So do you reckon they're going to be more brutal, South East Phoenix, this year with their imports? Because they held on a long time with Wieskamp.
Yeah.
Walton Jr. was injured a lot. I'm surprised they didn't pull the trigger. Like last year, they pulled the trigger the year before on one of the imports halfway through the year. They just said, see you later. Yeah. And Gary Brown, he looked checked out halfway through as well because I think he knew he was gone. And I don't know. Do you reckon they'll be more brutal?
I think it probably all depends on the start of the season and what our win-loss record, say 5-10 games into the season, what it looks like and how those players are obviously adjusting to the lineup, with a couple other new players coming in.
Yep.
We think VB will start. We don't know much on him. So, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Players retained. So, Sobey, Foxwell, Glover, Malik Lewis, Hunter. Sobey was a bit of a slow start last year, and I don't know if he just thought he had to play the Brisbane way, and that was just 1v1, take them all for a ride. And it seemed like that a lot of the time. Like some of his shots were very questionable and still 20 seconds on the shot clock, and he's got, everyone's in position, he just shoots it. Like, he frustrated a lot of fans, but now I think they've got his respect, and if he can just average those 20 points like he did with us late in the year and with Brisbane, I think he's gonna take us a long way. Foxwell we spoke about. Glover, I just love him off the bench. He just adds so much. Yeah, just his 3-ball. It's just it's not fluent, but it works. It's just there's something about it. Like at the start of the year, you go, oh no, Glover, no, yes, no, that went in beautiful. We're on, and then there'll be games where he's had 10 points in the quarter.
Yeah, just goes off.
Yeah, no, I really like him. I think he's a great pick, and hopefully we can hold on to him for many years.
Yeah.
Malik Lewis, I think he goes to another level. I think it's great that he stayed. He showed glimpses of a great player. Just his 3, he's down low, his defense is massive. He fell away in that middle period where I think he just got a bit lost, but he just there was some games where he only played 4 minutes. But then some games it was 16. So it was hard to, maybe it was a little bit injured. maybe a little bit injured. First time playing a lot of basketball, maybe looked after him a little bit.
Yeah.
Potentially was going to the draft, so maybe they just said, hey, just can you ease up on him?
Yeah.
Jordy Hunter, I'm a big fan of him. I don't...
100%.
I loved him when we signed him for a 3-year deal. I couldn't understand last year. Yeah, he got in some foul trouble in a couple of games, but there was so many times we'd look to play small ball and Hurt would be our centre, and I get it, but like Jordy Hunter's pick and roll and just coming up and just putting a block on and then just running straight to the rim, like real
physicality
easy,
kind of thing.
But it was so good to watch, and there was many times I gambled on him to have 10 points more, and he'd sit on 8 in the third quarter. I'm like, I'm home, and he just wouldn't get another minute. I just couldn't understand it. Was he a little bit injured? Did Josh King not, he likes that sort of small ball, high pressure defense? I don't know, but geez, I hope we see some more minutes out of him. I'd love to see him play 30 minutes a game.
Yeah. Whether he's got it in him, like, I don't know, because what's his age now? Is he still...
high 30s? Oh, not high, as in low 30s, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. It confused me, and I just really hope... I think he's a good player, and he's going to play big minutes for us if he's allowed to. Yeah, I just... Mate, there's some big boys in the NBL this year. Like, if we don't have Hurt, what do we got?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But key games. You wanted to speak about the key games coming up for the 25-26 season?
Yeah, that was something I had on board. I don't think we'll touch on the in-season tournament yet. I think we'll kind of ease our way into that. But I think you said the first 5 or so games is crucial for us, and that's kind of the key games for you starting off like this next upcoming season. Why do you reckon you say that?
Well, I've had the first 5 games are brutal. The first one we played Cairns at home. I'm not saying it's a lock, but I like our chances to start off with a win. But then we move to a 3-game, or 2 games away. One of them's back at home, but it's not our home game. We play Illawarra, we play Melbourne United, and we play the 36ers away the next 3 games. And New Zealand Breakers away. Now, that's a tough 5 start. Now, it's crucial we win the first one because we could be 0-5 and could be looking down the barrel like a Mike Kelly. I don't think we will. I think they'll still have faith in Josh King. But first one is so critical. Illawarra at home. Look, don't get me wrong. Illawarra deserved to win, but I don't think they were a championship side. I think there was other sides out there that just didn't play well when the times got tough. So I think there was one during the season when did we win in Illawarra last year? Or we went really close around Christmas time, I think. Yeah. And then Melbourne United, that's always a really good grudge match and always has some fire in it. But then 36 is away, like, oh my God. Oh man, like if they just said
on the 36ers, what did you say the other day as well on them, and what kind of your output is on them as a club? And
last year was interesting for the 36ers. I went to both of their games at home. I think both of the games we had at home. Because I was a big Montreal's Harrell fan, ex-Laker. Wanted to just see an ex-NBA player go at it, like a real well-known player. And I think he came off, the first one was in December, and he was coming off the 6-week suspension. Where he went nuts at Melbourne United. So he I reckon he went home for Thanksgiving, and he bulked up a little bit on the food, and he just came back an angry man, and just his presence on the court was so negative. Okay, might be just the NBA, how it goes. I haven't been to an NBA game. But he was changing his shoes every quarter, and then he was sitting on the bench away from the other players. He was just barking orders. Yeah, I get it. He's an NBA player. I'd listen to him too, but the way he was acting was just unprofessional. It was just something to watch, and you couldn't see it on the TV because they wouldn't show it. It was just, I think they were just too scared to talk about it because they'll get maybe in trouble or upset him a little bit. But it was next level. And then when I didn't think he'd come back because I've heard that they were angry at the coach, the way he was going about it. But then it was Kendrick Davis for being immature and didn't want to play team ball. But he resigns. They pick up Cotton. They pick up the ex-New Zealand player. They pick up Cameron from United. They pick up Kenyon, who'll probably be on their bench. Isaac Humphrey stays. And more importantly, Bryce Cotton out of nowhere signs with them. Oh my God! You mark them $1.75 favourite for the year and just watch them, but will they gel?
Why?
Do you reckon?
What's the reason behind that though? Because of their locker room presence is what we talked about. How's that gonna click?
Yeah, that's the question. And on paper, they're $1.75, but
they look good.
Will they all? And will they click? That's the question. We've seen it in NBA when the big three or the big four get together, it just doesn't work because you haven't got a bench. Cotton's going to have to play 40 every game. Yeah, he's used to it from what they did at Perth. Montrezl Harrell, he's playing big three at the moment. Is that a good conditioning for him for the NBL?
No.
I've seen some highlights and Jesus Christ. But yeah, on paper, they win, but they've got to click, and this coach has got to make them click. This is their buy-in. They've bought in. They've given Cotton a massive deal. Harrell would be on a big deal. I don't know. It's a mystery.
Do you think they're going to be too individual, self-focused as a team and a club to try and take it all away?
Yeah, 100%. I think with the way Harrell plays, he'll try and play team ball, but there's times where he was going to the rim 2-on-1 and thought he was playing NBA again. They're the biggest mystery. There's been so many. I think that this year's ladder is going to be your top 4-5 are going to be up, and then your bottom 4-5 are going to be really down.
Low.
I think your Tassie, your Cairns. Illawarra, I just don't know. They've got to go again. They haven't recruited anyone.
They do. No.
Yeah.
Being really quiet.
Yeah. Melbourne United, do they slip? They've lost their two big men in 2 years. Now, they haven't recruited well either. Yes, they've picked up a really good point guard. I think he's going to be enormous for them, but Chris Golding's not going to go the same again. He was coming off the bench at the start of the year. So, I think there's teams that are going to be like your Sydney's, South East Phoenix, your Adelaide, maybe New Zealand, but they haven't recruited either. They've still held on to the same. I just think this. I think the top 6 this year?
I think so.
Yeah, top 6. So I think the top 5 will be together. And thereabouts, maybe clear Adelaide on top, but after that, it's going to drop away.
Yeah, absolutely. I think going back to the key matchups as well. As you touched on though, that first round matchup, what's the NBL's take on why we're playing against Cairns first up? Obviously, it's a home game as well, but then we're going to the big one in versus Melbourne United, which is going to be crucial as well. Would love to beat them.
100%.
So then
stick it to
so then round 3, we don't even have a game round 3, do we? No,
I think there's a bye.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So there's not as many games as round 3. So as you'll talk about the first 5 or so games, and there is some really, really winnable games there.
Yep.
So whether we do it, that's the next question. Whether they can gel quickly enough, we're losing a few players still. A couple of free agents still up in the air. So,
do you reckon South East Phoenix? I know I'm going to go off topic here. Do you reckon South East Phoenix go for an import that's played our game, like maybe Jaylen Adams, maybe Derek Walton Jr., maybe Crawford?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you reckon they go for a tried one instead of a newbie?
Well, what's the? I swear I saw some facts or something on Crawford not returning to the NBL.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
I read that. Sydney have said goodbye to Jaylen Adams, who I think who should be picked up by us. If he's not on our radar, do you reckon Paddy Mills?
Oh, geez, that'll be good. I'd love it, but I don't know if South East Melbourne would be the team for him if he was to come to the NBL too.
Nah, I think he's United, or the rumor was Cairns.
Yeah.
I
suppose Indigenous kind of heritage as well, but up there.
Yeah, yep. But yeah, I really hope we go for a used player in that knows what the pace of the game is. Just knows what the NBL's about, because it can be quite daunting for some players. Look at Crawford; he was up and down so early, and even throughout his career. But yeah, I'd love Jaylen Adams for some reason. I loved him when I watched him at Knox basketball when we played Sydney out there. Like, he just tore us a new one. Just how well he goes. All right. Anything else on key games?
I don't think so. Obviously, the in-season tournament starts in round 4, so that's out of the first 5 games. So that starts pretty early in the season too, and then that'll follow for nearly every single Wednesday, I think, throughout the season from there.
Yeah. Are you a supporter of the new in-tournament thing?
I think so. If it brings more competitive nature to the league, then yes.
Yep.
I just don't want us following the NBA too much and like what the American sports kind of do. That's my take on it.
Yeah, no, I get it, and I think we're seeing a lot of sports follow the NBA take. I said last year we should be playing more games. It's such a small window of October to March.
Yeah, exactly.
We're in a really good space of. I think we're taking well over the A-League, so I don't think we even have to worry about that. And we just have the opportunity to play more games, and I like the idea. I just like it. It's more basketball. It's added to the main season. And there's money for the teams. Yeah, there's probably going to be a few teams that, maybe down the lower end will target it. Where, it's as I said, it's added to the main season. So not many teams will tank or, whatever. But, yeah, I'd love more games, and we're going to get it. We're getting an extra 3 per team. I think it is 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. And I hope to see us do like the A-League and go deep into footy season and have a crack against them and see. Big Bash did it. They failed. They've lost that audience. Don't go too hard too early. Just gradually build it.
Yeah,
you'll know when the right number is, and we know footy season's hot when it starts, and everyone wants footy season. But we have a chance to really, take it by the horns. Like, we're starting in September. We're starting in finals time. I like it.
Yeah, it's good start.
What is it? September 20th roundabout. Yeah, that 16 teams are done.
That'll be prelim finals weekend, I think, in AFL.
Yeah. 14 to 16 teams are done. So, there's going to be eyes on it, but there's kids that want to go to the basketball. They want to see it. So, I'm very, very happy with this move. And hopefully we can just tinker it a little bit more and add another 3 or 4 next year. Then there's Hoops Fest. I think that's a great idea. Can't wait for it. I remember it when it was back in Melbourne. They called it something else, and it was... I was telling you the other day, I remember going, and South East Phoenix were playing, and there was a game before it, and it was $10, like $10 tickets, and it was unbelievable. I can see it probably works in Perth. Would I love to see Melbourne have a crack? 100%, but I don't know if we'd support it as fans and go. Like, I'd probably go to all of them. But I don't know how well received it would be. We've got 2 teams, so it should be received
they've done that well. Yeah. I think my take on it is that they've done it well having it in Perth. Like, obviously, Melbourne's more regardlessly said as AFL. You got the NRL kind of mainly up in the like Sydney kind of area, New South Wales, Queensland areas as well, I guess. But so I think it's in a good spot. Like, obviously, the AFL has Gather Round as well. That's another thing. that's in Adelaide. So I think Perth's a great spot for her, and I think it'll have to stay there, I think, for me.
Yeah, cool. No, I like it. All right. Last segment. Bold predictions. Have you got one this early?
What would my bold prediction? I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to get a read on it this early on. Like I didn't think it would be starting up this early on doing the podcast, but yeah, like a few of the teams. I think my bold prediction is that Illawarra won't play finals. I think they're going to drop off. I think they're going to drop off massively. They haven't done much on the recruiting side of things, as you said as well. So that's probably my bold prediction. Just thinking off the top of my head.
And they've lost Trey Kell as well.
Yeah, Trey Kell.
Right? Yep.
Davo Hickey's up in the air. I think. Like, could he get picked up on an NBA squad? I don't know. He's in the summer league at the moment. He's been playing really well. So,
how many podcasts do you reckon we've upset out of the Basketball Fix, all the other teams' podcasts? We've had a crack at all of them.
Yeah, I think so. Not a good start, is it?
Nah, we love them. And that's the best thing about doing these podcasts. It's opinions. Like, I'm sure the other guys doing their podcasts are going to rip through us and just
look out.
Yeah. Just say we're a second change team. But no, that's good. No, I like your bold prediction. I didn't have one in a team orientated one, but while I was talking in this episode, I'm like, I reckon I'm really sticking to Illawarra. So no, I like it. My bold prediction, it's going to be Malik Lewis going to go top 12 in the NBA draft.
Yeah.
I know he was at 30 at one point. He pushed out to 50, I think. But I just don't know. There's something about him that's going to get people talking.
Yeah.
I like what he presents. He was only, I think he was 17 last year with us, or 18. So he was young. Still a kid. Yeah, he's still a kid. He was still learning.
Sort of growing his body a bit.
Yeah, and man, another year in our system, it just does wonders to you. So I think he'll get minutes. I think he's just going to improve every game. He's going to have a breakout game where he'll have 25 and 10. And it'll be the talk of all the NBL shows. It'll be talk of all our shows. I think we'll rename it the Malik Lewis Hoops Show. But yeah, I just think he can he'll go to 12. It'll be a great segue, and I think we'll just get more new star players.
Yeah, well, that'll be something though as well. Because is that highly regarded? Is he a Frenchman, the one that's been picked up as the next star as well in the league?
Yes, there's been one of them. Yep.
So he's projects. Obviously, we've got Dash Daniels trying to go top 10 in the draft. Where's he meant to go? I think he's meant to go high up as well, isn't he?
Yeah, they were saying 5 at one point. I was reading.
So if we can get 3 out of the 4 so next stars, that'll be huge. Yeah, even like Lopez as well. Like Lopez is going to be up there.
Yes.
So big things coming, I think, for the NBL and their young players.
Yeah, 100%. It'll be it's just going to go wonders, and I think we're just going to see more and more. And I think it's going to be really good for the next star talents this year. So recap. Please head over to YouTube, Instagram, or on the web for the basketballfix.com. Like, subscribe, get involved, guys. And you can find us on Heartland Hoops TBF on Instagram. Like, subscribe, share. Let us know your thoughts on the episode. We're only, it's episode 1 out of 50 we're probably going to do this year. Episode 2 will probably drop closer to the Blitz or when we have our full roster. It'll be one of those two. Hoping we sign a few more very quickly so we can do an episode 2 and really dissect our roster. Any final thoughts, mate?
Not really. I just, as you touched on, just filling out the roster gaps a little bit more. Obviously, probably finding a fair few guards, but hopefully we just haven't, pushed aside a couple of the other teams' podcasts on the network so far, just from what we've said in this episode. Got to stay neutral.
100%. Big things for us coming this year, guys. So stay tuned. Like, subscribe, swipe left, swipe right, whatever you do, whatever socials you find us on, please interact with us. We'd love to interact with you. That was episode 1. Looking forward to episode 2. Thank you for joining me, Joel.
All good. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, mate. And see you episode 2.